Okay, I've searched what exactly Nifty 50 means, and I found this. The Nifty 50 is the benchmark in the Indian stock market. It is an index that represents the average of 50 of the largest Indian companies listed on National Stock Exchange. What? This is just not it. This is Nifty 50. Small, light, wide aperture, inexpensive 50mm lens. This is new Viltrox 50mm f2 lens. It is very cheap. In fact, it is one of the cheapest autofocusing lenses that you can buy. But is it actually worth buying, and is it a lens for you? Let's find out. This is a 6th lens in R series and a 3rd full frame one. So far they were all very good and very affordable lenses, but this is 50mm Nifty 50. It is available for Sony E and Nikon Z mounts for only £149 here in UK or $199 in US. I have tested very budget friendly lenses before, including this Sony 50mm f1.8. Similarly priced, but it has got every problem a lens can have. Everything from lack of sharpness, chromatic aberration, and very poor AF performance. This is the polar opposite, a lens that actually works. At this price, it might be surprising to a lot of you that this is actually a very good lens. And I'm saying that comparing it to many 2, 3, or even 4 times more expensive 50mm lenses on the market right now. Of course, it is a cheap lens and something has to give. And it can't be compared directly to Sigma or Sony G Master lenses. It's a different kind of lens. So optically, generally speaking, it is very hard to fault it. It is sharp, it delivers sharp results, it has got no problems focus tracking and focusing in general. Maybe not the fastest autofocusing lens on the planet, but more than adequate for most of standard, not specialist shooting scenarios. What is really surprising is that the chromatic aberration is well under control, very small amount visible. This is very rare with a 50mm prime like this. Viltrox have been doing it for a while now with their more premium, more expensive lenses, but whatever technology they are implementing, it is here too. When looking through the viewfinder, I can clearly see the chromatic aberration showing us purple fringing, but there's none visible in the photos taken with it. Same when it comes to flaring, clearly visible through the viewfinder, 80% less visible in the actual photos. This makes it more versatile and more desirable to more photographers. I don't know how this actually works. Here the lens flares are very clearly visible in video, but not at all on the photos. It's like they are being removed by software after the picture has been taken. Obviously not that, but unusual. I've never seen this with any other than Viltrox lenses. The whole experience using it, I never had to fight it to achieve good results with it. It is easy to use lens. 50mm gives you a very natural to the human eye field of view, and that makes this lens very versatile. I've always been a fan of 50mm lenses for exactly that reason. In my opinion, it is easier to capture what you see, how you see it with a 50mm, and this one is no exception. It allows you to shoot everything from close-ups, portraits, street photography, and more. This can be an everyday lens for most people for sure. Minimum focusing distance here is standard 51 centimeters. It would be nice for it to be closer, but we can't have everything, not at this price. Subject to background separation is really nice. Minimum aperture of f2 is still wide enough to get that booted smooth background, and the bokeh this lens creates is pretty nice too. Overall, it's not a perfect lens, but it is way above pretty much everything in this price range on the market right now. It also works well when filming with it. Generally speaking, it is good enough for everyday majority of filming situations. Autofocus is just sometimes very slow, especially in more challenging lighting conditions or when there is an obvious or easy subject for it to focus on. Sometimes it just needs a little bit more time to think about it before it starts working properly again. The flaring, unlike when taking the photos, is more visible in video too. I can't say that AF is absolutely silent, because it isn't. It makes very faint sounds when focus is working. I'd say nothing to worry about, not loud enough to be a real problem. For all those serious filmmakers who want to use very cheap this lens for filming with, good news is that there's literally no focus breathing visible either. In a nutshell, totally usable for video. Maybe not award-winning performance, but okay. Built, it is a small lens made out of plastic composite, rather standard. The focus ring is okay, nothing groundbreaking either, but smooth enough. No switches on the lens at all. Metal mount and a USB-C socket for connecting it to a computer for installing future firmware updates. No weather sealing. This could be a deal breaker for some, but it is very affordable, cheap lens, and that's rather standard in this price range. It weighs feather light 205 gram approximately, as the weight will vary depending on which mount version you have. Who is this lens for? Okay, it might not be a professional lens, and it is not trying to be one, but the price makes it not only accessible for anyone from a total beginner who wants something cheap, maybe a first prime to try, for someone who wants another lens to add to their kit but without breaking the bank, spur of the moment kind of purchase, to someone who maybe even is a professional but needs something small, light and easily replaceable. The fact that this lens delivers actually very good results makes it great value for money. Just don't be a lens snob, take it for what it is and enjoy using it. There's no need comparing it to Sony or Nikon own 50mm lenses. It's not the same. This is what Nifty 50 lenses used to be. Cheap and versatile, great equally for photographers with zero or lots of experience. Conclusion, I really can't think about another lens like this on the market right now. This is a type of lens that should be bundled with every new camera these days, like they used to do when Nifty 50 is back in a day of analog cameras. Great lens to capture that more professional look, subject to background separation for using in lower lighting conditions, and generally when you need inexpensive and good enough for everyday usage little 50mm prime. This price makes it affordable and suitable as a present. I tell you, I wouldn't mind to get a little lens like this from Santa. Viltrox have come up with a new lens that in a way reminds me of what they used to be. Maybe more plastic than they used to be, but in principle this ticks all the boxes to be a modern version of a Nifty 50. I love it and I highly recommend it. This is it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.